Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight Tonight channel. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. I really want to get 20,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Thanks for support me, guys. Gervonta Davis warned Ryan Garcia not to intrude on his business with Devin Haney today, after Kingry threw in his 2 cents about Tank, saying he won't fight without rehydratation clauses. Tank Davis bluntly let Ryan know that he needs to pipe down and not meddle with his discussions with Haney, the new WBC 140-pound champion. Ryan is an annoying mosquito for Tank Davis, who wants Haney's pelt as long as he gets him to agree to a rehydratation clause and a catchweight to keep him from rehydratation to 165 plus, like for his fight last Saturday night. There is a hierarchy at 140, and Ryan is now a low-ranking member. Gervonta is letting him know that he is overstepping his position and needs to be submissive after losing earlier this year. Kingry had his chance, but he quit, and fans can't forget that. Tank Davis to Ryan Garcia: "Do you want me to beat your ass again? Because it was easy. The popular star Ryan Garcia needs to climb his way back to the top by beating some quality fighters before he can involve himself with ranking elite-level fighters like Haney or Tank Davis. Devin Haney coming in over 160 from 140 is actually crazy, but not against the rules. Tank will not fight you without the clauses. After March, when I get this title from Raleigh, we will unify on a special date. How does that sound?" Ryan Garcia said. It's difficult to know if Ryan is serious about wanting to fight Haney or if this is just an effort to increase his followers on social media by including himself into the discussions of fighters who are above this level. Tank showed that the 25-year-old Ryan does not belong at the elite level with his victory, and now he needs to compete with fighters of a similar ability. Ryan, still bitter about his knockout loss to Tank Davis last April, added in his comment today on social media that he wants to fight WBC light welterweight champion Haney after he defeats 140-pound champion Rolando Romero next year. Kingry is trying to get in good with Haney to get that payday if he gets past Raleigh, which is a big ask given how poor Ryan looked against Oscar Duarte early this month on December 2nd. Ryan knows a rematch with Tank Davis is out of the question, so he is looking for the next best thing, a fight with Haney. But he needs the WBA title as bait to increase his chances of getting that match. Kingry rarely flunked his audition against Gervonta last April, hitting the canvas once and then taking a knee. He is done nothing signs to redeem himself unless you want to call his fight with a fringe lightweight contender any redemption. Fans scared Shakur Stevenson and say he is not ready for Gervonta Davis after worrying at the Los Santos win. Shakur Stevenson was widely criticized despite winning to become a 3-weight world champion on Tuesday night in Las Vegas. The young American star outpointed Edwin de Los Santos and won a unanimous decision, but admitted himself that he had a bad performance in the entertaining 12-rounder. The fight began with a tentative opening round, though de Los Santos tried to prevent this. The Dominican initially came out aggressive, but was neutralized by the early defensive talent of Shakur Stevenson, who held him when he tried to launch his early assaults. This set the tone for the entire fight. Round 2 was quiet as de Los Santos struggled to land clean punches. In the aftermath, Shakur Stevenson was declared the winner by unanimous decision, but loud boos rained down and fans were not impressed. Stevenson reacted to his post-fight interview: "I had a bad performance, I was not feeling too good, no excuses. If I'm feeling like this, I'm gonna make sure I box and get a victory." One user wrote, "This is really tough to watch." A second said, "Nothing happening at all. One of the worst fights I've ever seen." While a third put, "This fight is not worth watching. I appreciate the boxing IQ both have, but Shakur and de Santos are too afraid to fight." Some also used the contest as evidence that Shakur Stevenson would not be able to compete with Gervonta Davis. "Shakur not ready for Tank," one fan said. A second wrote, "Gervonta Davis is somewhere smiling watching this Shakur fight." Another commented, "Shakur is not on the same level as Tank, all he's got is defense he can't hit," while a fourth concluded, "Tank might send Shakur to the shadow realm." Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.